Hi, I'm John Bruno, the principal here at Riverside. We look forward to having your son or daughter join us this fall here at the school.
Welcome to Riverside. I'm Miss Jo Hall.
I'm Miss Liddell. And I'm Miss Chittenden. We're excited to get to know you and to see you next year. Let's head inside and we can show you our school.
This is Riverside, and in the next 20 minutes, we're going to give you some information that's going to make your transition to Riverside that much easier in September.
Welcome to Riverside. We're excited to meet your children next year. This presentation that I'll be sharing with you tonight is going to be very similar to the one that we will be presenting virtually to your children on February 4th, 5th, or 6th, depending on which middle school they attend. At Riverside, we have 3 counselors, and our load is divided alphabetically. As you can see in the slide, Miss Jo Hall, her alphabet is the last name letters A, B, S to Z. Miss Ledoux is C and M to R, and myself, Miss Chittenden, my alphabet is D to L. We'll be your children's counselors from grade 9 all the way until grade 12, so it's really important that we get to know them. Often our grade 9s can be a little bit intimidated to come into the counseling office, but we really encourage them to come by and we go into their classes to introduce ourselves because we'll be working with them for a long time, so we really like to start developing that relationship early. The Riverside School Organization is split up into 2 semesters. Now, I'll speak to how we normally would run things, but I do obviously have the clause that we don't really know where we're going to be at in 2021 in terms of COVID-19. So I'll start with this though. Typically, we have 2 semesters, and one semester runs from September to January, the second one from February until June. Typically, students would have English, socials, science, and 3 of their electives, and they would have those classes split up by semester. So 4 classes in semester 1 and 4 classes in semester 2. We typically would have math and PE, choir, and math support. Those would be linear classes, so they would run from September until June, with math and PE alternating on a day 1, day 2 schedule, and the band or choir would run before school as an additional course, and sometimes they would meet after school, and math support runs in the mornings. We do have a common lunch as well. Now, unfortunately, this year, there had to be some changes made, and we ran on a quarter system. So depending on where we're at in September, we'll have to see how it's going to be run. I don't want to overcomplicate things in this presentation, so I'll just leave it at that, and we'll see where we're at in September. Also, Riverside has an advisory program. Now, unfortunately, this year we weren't able to run the Riverside advisory program due to restrictions for COVID. But what's great is that in normal times we do have this program running. It's multi-grade, so it's a mix of students from grade 9 to 12. There's one teacher in their RAP, and that teacher will follow the students from grade 9 all the way till grade 12. So it really becomes a little family where the teachers get to know the students really well. There's some mentorship between the grade 9s and 12s. There's about 20 students in each RAP, and they're there for 4 years. During RAP, it's a great time to find out about what's happening in the school, to watch some videos, to see what other students are doing, to have some interesting conversations, and just a really nice time to connect with some other students in other grades and another teacher. So we really hope that we'll be able to get the RAP program up and running for next year, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Some tips that we share with the grade 8 students before they come up is that we really encourage them to use their technology efficiently to help them stay organized. Now, that can be a big ask for grade 9 students, but there is a lot of instruction and mentorship from the teachers on how to do that. We really encourage them to ask teachers for help. A lot of our grade 9 students can be a little bit intimidated and shy, and so we really try to encourage them as much as possible to get to know their teacher and to ask them for help and stay after class if they have any questions. Completing assignments on time is a really crucial one in high school, which can be a little bit challenging sometimes for students when they transition from grade 8 to grade 9, and requesting a peer tutor. So at Riverside, we do have a peer tutoring program where students are able to apply to get a peer tutor in a higher grade who are able to support them with their academics. The peer tutoring program is run by Mr. Ford here at Riverside. The grade 11 and 12 students, they're trained volunteers who help peers in their academic areas. And to request a peer tutor, that's just done on the website, but we can support your grade 9 child with that when they come next year. As you've probably heard, Riverside does have a digital one-to-one environment where technology is integrated into all the teaching and learning in the classes. Students have the opportunity to use a tablet or a laptop in their class every day, and there is a lot of support with this. We have a team of tech tutors, and we also have something called the Wave, which is set up in our library where there is always a student or a staff member who is able to support them if they have any problems with their technology. We do recommend that whatever technology they're bringing to school, that the screen is a minimum of 10 inches, that it has 16 gigs of memory, a camera, and a protective case. We're not asking by any means for families to go out and purchase a device. We do have many devices at the school that students can borrow. They will sign them out in September, and they don't have to return the device until June. So please don't feel that you need to go out and buy a laptop or an iPad. We do have both of those devices that we're able to support your children with. At Riverside, we also have student support services. So we have a learning center where we have case managers who support students who have academic needs, IEPs, and we do have a skill development program here as well. And the ELL program does continue through high school. So if your child is receiving support with ELL classes, English language learners, we do have that program that continues at Riverside, where your child will still be able to continue to get support in learning English. There are a lot of really excellent opportunities at Riverside that we encourage our grade 9s to get involved in. We have athletic teams, there's clubs. In normal times, we have cultural trips to France, there's trips to Italy, and previous years we've had service trips as well. So there's a lot of really neat things going on, and we're hoping that some of those will be back in action next year and your children will be able to become involved in them. Some examples of clubs, we have many, but just to give you an idea, Riverside has a multicultural club, Dungeons and Dragons, a movie club, yearbook club, lots of different clubs. And what's neat is that if your child has an idea of one that doesn't currently exist, they can also speak to a teacher about that, and we can see if we're able to get that club up and running. In September, at the beginning of the year, there is a clubs day where there'll be different tables set up in the foyer and students can circulate and see if any of the clubs interest them. And it's a really great way to get to know other students that might not be coming from your middle school or that you didn't have a chance to get to know in middle school, and also to connect with some of the older students and receive some mentorship and just get to know what's happening in the building. When we talk to our grade 12 students, and if we ask them, is there anything that you could go back and do differently? One thing that they often say is that they wish they had gotten involved earlier. So we really try to encourage our grade 9s to get involved in the school as soon as they get here. I want to highlight the Riverside website because this is going to be a really important resource to both your children and you as a parent. So on the Riverside website, you'll be able to find a list of all of our staff members and their contacts. There is the library database where your children will be able to go on to have access to all the different resources that our library subscribes to. Also, this is where they'll be able to see the announcements and things that are happening, and those get updated daily. So it's really crucial that your children start to be able to navigate our website and just get into a habit of checking it on a regular basis. There's also a section on our Riverside website for grade 9 transitions. So you'll see on there that there's going to be a folder, I've put a box around it here. So grade 8 to 9 transitions, and here's where you're going to find lots of important documents for the transition for your children. Also, this is where you'll find the link for the Hockey Academy application. If that's something that your children are interested in, you can go there to find out about applying. There's also the link for PAC and the parent e-forms. So we no longer send out a lot of paper in September. It will be done electronically, and that's where you're going to find access to all of those e-forms. I'm sure it's very similar to how things are done at the middle schools as well now. When we come and speak to you, or when we speak virtually to your children this year, we really encourage them to choose their courses carefully. So in grade 9, there is a bunch of classes that are mandatory, such as English, Math, Social Studies, Science, PE, as well as COL, which is the COL Digital Literacy 10 course. And then our English students will have 3 electives that they're able to choose. We encourage them to choose electives that they themselves are interested in and not electives that they know their friends are choosing. So at Riverside, it's much different than their middle schools where we will have multiple sections of elective courses. So sometimes we'll have students who come to Riverside and they've only chosen a certain elective because their friends are in it, but what they soon realize when they arrive here is that we have multiple sections of that course. So we encourage them to take the time to watch the videos that we will be sending out in end of January, where it explains what students do in those electives, and find elective choices that are a good match for them. Our French Immersion students, they will have Français 9, Sciences Humaines 9, Conversation 10, English 9, Math 9, Science 9, Éducation Physique et Santé, which is their French PE class. They also will have their Digital Literacy 10 course, and they get 1 elective choice for grade 9. At Riverside, we have 2 different math choices for students. We have our Math 9 course, which is our regular stream of math, which will feed into Math 10 Foundations and Pre-Calculus or Math 10 Workplace. If students are having a challenging time in Math 8, they might want to speak to their teacher whether Math 9 is a good fit or if Math 9 Adapted might be a better fit for them. If students take Math 9 Adapted, then in grade 10, they would automatically be placed into Math 10 Workplace. What's important to know is that your middle school teachers, they are very familiar with both of these classes, the Math 9 and the Math 9 Adapted. So they are a good resource to speak to if you're unsure which math class is best for your child. Also, what's nice is that at Riverside, how we have things scheduled is that the Math 9 Adapted is actually within the Math 9 course. So if your child starts off in Math 9 and you realize that it might not be the best place for them, we are able to easily transition them into the Math 9 Adapted class without having to rearrange their schedule. They would stay in the same course. Adding choice to your program. So this is where we start to talk about electives. So as I mentioned earlier, students in the English program, they will have 3 electives to choose from. One of those electives could be a second language. However, it's important to remember that a second language is not required for graduation. I'll speak more to that when I have my language slide up. We encourage students to have electives from a variety of areas. It's always surprising for students when they come to Riverside and how they might take an elective in something that they had no idea about, but once they are exposed to that area, they really find that they have a lot of interest. So we encourage them to research to make sure it's an area that they're interested in, but to try something that maybe they haven't done before, just to branch out. French immersion students, we do have some electives also that are in French if they would like to have an opportunity to strengthen their French language skills. Here's an example of some of the electives. I'm not going to go through and read all of them because your children will actually receive a booklet that will have a description and the same list of all of the electives. But I just wanted to show it so you have an idea of all the different choice that we do have at Riverside. For languages, at Riverside in grade 9, students can take French 9, Spanish 9, or they're able to take Intro to Italian 11. Again, a language is not required for graduation. Where it is required is for students who are going directly from Riverside into a certain university. It's not even required for all universities, just certain universities will require it. And they don't require the grade 12 level, it's typically just up to the grade 11 level. So to give you an example about some of our local post-secondary schools, the University of Victoria does not require a second language for admission. Simon Fraser University will accept an Intro 11 language, and UBC requires a grade 11 language. So it really varies depending on which post-secondary institution your child is looking to attend. BCIT or Douglas College do not require a second language. Some opportunities for your children to enrich their experience at Riverside. We do have the Leadership 10 program, which is an excellent program where students are able to really become involved in the school and give back into their school community. This does have an application, which I will be passing on to the middle school teachers. We have our honors courses, which the database has actually opened on January 6th on our Riverside website, and your students have an opportunity to apply until January 20th. On January 20th, it will close, and you will receive information on January 22nd via email regarding what the next steps will be for the honors applications. There will be a test for Math 9 honors and an assessment for Science 9 honors and an assessment for English 9 honors on separate nights, which you will be informed of when you receive your contact on January 22nd. Riverside is also lucky to have a hockey academy, which is a really nice program for students who are interested in hockey, and it doesn't matter what level they're at. So in the hockey program, there are students who have played a lot of hockey and students who are interested in hockey and just want to start learning the sport. As I mentioned earlier, the application is on the Riverside website. Also, there will be an information night on January 14th. You should be receiving the information from your middle school. They will have the form, which you'll need to fill out before January 12th in order to have access for this information night on January 14th. If for some reason you haven't received that information, you can speak to your counselor at the middle school, or the principal at the middle school will have that link as well. There's lots of opportunities for enrichment after grade 9 that we encourage your children to continue to be involved in. So the honors program, it does continue in some classes in grade 10, 11, and 12. We have athletic leadership, we have performing arts leadership, we also have our green shirts, so lots of other leadership programs that run outside of the classroom. We have the science co-op program in grade 11, where students are able to go and do a workplace in an area of their choice related to the science field. And we also have peer tutoring. As I mentioned before, in grade 9, your child can access a peer tutor, and later on in their schooling, they could even train to become a tutor and support other students, whether it be with our peer tutoring in academic areas or PE peer tutoring, or even becoming one of our tech tutors that help students with technology support. In grade 10, we also have the outdoor education program. That is an excellent program where students are able to get outside, try different activities that they might not otherwise have an opportunity to do within their school day, like skiing and canoeing, camping, hiking, a lot of really neat opportunities that they would do in their second semester of grade 10. When we speak to your students virtually, we will also be dropping off in advance a course selection sheet. So on the reverse side of the sheet, I wanted just to highlight here, you can see that all the courses will be listed. So although some of these courses will have a grade 10, or a few of them even will say grade 11 next to the name of the course, your child is able to access these courses. So on the reverse side of the course selection sheet, we have included all the names of the courses that your grade 8 child is able to choose. So for example, on this sheet, although it is small, you might be able to see that there is Textiles 11 listed, or there's also Bicycle Technology 11. Grade 9 students are able to take these courses, so please don't be deterred by the fact that it's not a grade 9 level. These are blended classes with students from grade 9, 10, and 11. The signed course selection forms are going to be due to middle school teachers on February 10th. So please, please, please encourage and support your child in making this deadline. A signature is required by you on the form, and so February 10th, again, is the deadline that it needs to be given to their homeroom teacher at their middle school. It's important that if your child does not live in Riverside's catchment, that you do fill out the cross-catchment application, which will be available on the district website starting on February 5th. A cross-catchment application does not guarantee an approval, so please make sure that you do fill it out and then understand that you will need to wait to receive the information of whether your child gets in. In terms of students who are not living in our catchment who want to apply to the honors program, we do encourage you to apply, or encourage your child to apply to the honors program, write the assessment, and just understand that admission to the honors program does not mean that they are automatically approved for a cross-catchment. We do have to have the cross-catchment approval finished first before they will be able to be a Riverside student and therefore attend the honors program. French immersion students attending Pitt River or Quay but living in the Charles Best catchment will need to apply for a cross-catchment to Riverside. Thank you so much for your time and taking the time to listen to this presentation and watch it. If there's any questions that you have, feel free to email who will be your child's counselor for next year. So again, I've included the alphabet breakdown on this slide here. So D to L, Casey Chittenden, C, M to R, Pamela Ledoux, and Bindi Johal is the letters A, B, and S to Z. We look forward to hearing from you. And again, do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions or concerns leading up to grade 9. Thanks so much, and we can't wait to meet your children and to meet you next year.
The counseling area is located right in the front foyer. When your son or daughter has any questions about their transition to Riverside or needs to seek any support, they can come find all of us right here behind me. See you in September!